All right. What's up? Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Doing another AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything. And I've been playing around with this new format this week, and I kind of enjoy it. It gives me the opportunity to just sort of rant about certain things that interest me, and then take any of your questions as we're rolling along. So one of the things that I was ranting about earlier today that I think so many are missing on is if I was to ask the question of any of you guys that are watching, or what's up, Jim Pescott? Any of you that are watching, how many of you are talking to prospective customers via video chat, Zoom sessions, Facebook? Oh, I gotta get my banner up on Instagram. Hold on. How many of you guys are actually doing that? Having a video chat, a Zoom call, a Google Meet, a Microsoft Teams, a whatever. What's up, Lisa from Boston? How many of you guys are actually doing that with customers? Like someone sends you a DM on Instagram, or someone sends you a message on Facebook and they're interested in this, that, or the other. Are any of you guys attempting to book a video chat? Like, let me know honestly if that's the case, because I'm seriously curious. Anyone on Instagram doing that? Anyone Facebook, YouTube doing that? Are you trying to get on one-on-one video calls with people asking you buying questions about your art? You want to go over the buying questions? Hey, had a question about such and such piece. Hey, was interested in your artwork. Was curious about the pricing. Okay, Marissa, I love you. You're doing it. Okay, James says he's not doing it. Sam Brown, okay, I'll get someone to call you. I don't know if you put in a demo or not, Sam, but that's the best way to do it. But I will make sure someone calls you. I see your number. So I am seeing this fundamentally changed businesses. Okay. And what do I mean when I say fundamentally changed businesses? Let me give that some teeth. What is the best way to sell art? What is the best way to sell photography? Not a trick question. You guys all know what it is. It's in person, face to face. Okay. It is in person, face to face, but we are not all of us geographically located in the same area. So the video chat is quite literally the next best thing. Okay. Which is going to get me to my topic of merchandising just a second. But it is just such a powerful way to grow your art sales and be willing to do that. Okay, Sam, you got to there is a link in this Facebook description. Click it, fill out the form. That's the easiest way to get in the call queue. They'll call you today. So do that. It'll take you 2 seconds and they'll call you. I'm seeing one of the things that we track, okay, as a business at Art Storefronts is what's called AOV, okay? It is the average order value. And for just about everybody, it's totally trackable, unless you're just selling such a mixed bag of goods, right? Sometimes you have to drop, like if you're selling a ton of prints and a few originals and you're selling the originals for 10 grand, okay, well then you might have to drop those out of the average, and then you can do like print AOV, or commissions AOV. But I'm seeing the AOV, the average order value, so the total sum of what would normally be in their shopping cart, go up considerably for those that are regularly leveraging the video chat. Okay. Anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. Aloha, Larry. Larry's telling me aloha from Hawaii. I'm actually Hawaiian, believe it or not, Larry. Side tangent. My dad grew up in Oahu, and my dad was 1/16th and I'm 1/32nd, and I actually have a Hawaiian name. Thanks for saying that, Andy, on the podcast. But anyway, let me finish my rant, and then I want to do open questions. But the rant is, okay, one, you guys need to start scheduling video chats, okay? And two, once you do start scheduling the video chats, you will come to terms with something very quickly, which is, especially as you're selling prints, number one, none of your customers know the doggone difference between a paper print, a canvas print, a metal print, and acrylic print. They might have some details, but they don't know the detail. They don't know like the specifics. And number two, it is extremely easy and compelling to get yourself a tiny little stack. I'm going to do show and tell. I'll hold it for both of you. A tiny little stack of prints that you can show off. Okay. And I'm going to get rid of my little JPEG here on Instagram, so that you guys can see. And when you do this, I have a huge one here. If I didn't have my green screen behind me, I would go and get the huge one, because it is extremely awkward to try and hold a giant piece of art, which is why you get your little stack of samples, right? And I used to pound the pavement on this so hard, and I've sort of come off of it recently, and I'm like, what are you doing coming off of this? Because still nobody knows how important this is, number one. And number two, how important it is to have the small sizes, because in the era of video, like you guys, oh my gosh, in the era of video, you need to be able to do this on short order. And the way that I always like say this, right, is like, okay, if you were a knife salesman and I hired you to go door to door selling knives, what would you have with you? Can you show us the board? What is that? That like Family Feud. Can I see the knives? Right? Of course you're going to take the damn knives with you, because no one wants to buy knives out of a 2D catalog, right? They want to actually see them. And so many people on your Instagram, on your Facebook, what are you doing? You're showing me 2D image after 2D image after 2D image after 2D image, and no one is buying 2D images. And you wonder why no one's buying your art, because you are not holding the actual thing. And yes, I realize these are all stock images, okay, but deal with it. So you need to get a paper print, okay? And you notice how these things are nice and small, and you notice how I can show them at the camera at various different angles, and I can talk about how they're ready to hang, and they have little felt things here and there, and there's black frames. You know, this entire stack that I'm going to go through, okay? And I've got canvas, okay? I've got canvas prints. You can show the sides, see that they're gallery wrapped, see that they're ready to hang. Okay, beautiful. I've got the new kid on the block that everyone's talking about, metal. Oh, you don't know what metal looks like? Check out metal, right? And like, you know, you can do the zoom in. Everyone has a zoom on their camera. It turns out you just move the thing close, right? Like, you know, I've got lights and a green screen, so it looks a little Mickey Mousey. And you can talk about the back of the metal, and you can talk about how you're going to put a little message in there on the back of the metal, and how it's ready to hang, and how you don't need a frame, and it shimmers, and the detail is insane. Then you can talk about the newest kid on the block, my favorite, which is acrylic, right? Acrylic is amazing for all the reasons acrylic is amazing. It's skinny, the frames ready to hang, you know, all of these various different things. And even a wood print, okay? And even a wood print. And the wood is actually really, really cool. And you can see the details on these things. It's pretty amazing. But this entire stack, if you ordered it, okay, and these things are all tiny, as you can see, because I'm holding them up on the cell phone. It's like $150 in total order size. This is what it's going to cost you to get all of these small ones made. And then you have these things in your hands, and it's like, oh, Patrick, you're constantly telling me to live. What am I going to talk about? Oh, I have an idea. Why don't you have a stack of everything that you offer your images on, and be able to talk about it and articulate it and say how it's ready to hang, and see how thick it is, and it's really cool. And, you know, you could take somebody off the wall and hit them with it. So I don't see anywhere near enough. And it's like multiple different failings. It's like, one, your customers don't have any damn idea about the media types. Two, no one's doing enough video chats. Three, no one's broadcasting live enough. Four, you don't have your work framed. You're dealing with the 2D images. And five, like, this just makes for great, compelling content, okay? And I'm not saying you need to order them from us. You can order them from your local printer, okay? It doesn't even matter how you get them. You need a paper print, and you can't really show. You could show a paper print without the frame, but you might as well get it framed. The frames are cheap, they're inexpensive, they're easy, and it hypes the presentation value. You need a paper print. You need a canvas print. You need a metal print. You need an acrylic print. And yes, I recommend you get wood. And even if they don't want wood, it's like the fact that you can show it. You know, you can say like, oh yeah, that image that you saw on Instagram that was so awesome. You know, I have a sample of some various different media types here. Can I just show you? Now, why do you order them small? Okay, you guys are gonna get a laugh out of this one. I want to show you why you order them small. Because this is really hard to show on a cell phone and keep your face in it and actually talk about it, right? Like, this is an acrylic print. Like, you don't need these giant ones. Like, don't get me wrong, if you have them already, they're still good to sell, but like, this is pretty hard to show on Facebook or Instagram. So you don't need the giant ones. The small samples will certainly do and totally get the job done. So that's my rant on the merchandising. The point of doing these sessions, by the way, is for you guys to ask questions. Why would you want to ask questions? Because I've been digital marketing for 7 years. I'm trying how to sell art and photography. I'm a Facebook ads expert, podcasting expert, live stream expert, live art show expert, study 5,700 customers on a week in, week out basis. Know what's actually moving art. So if you guys got questions about marketing, if you've got questions about what we do at Art Storefronts, is a business, all you have to do is leave a comment and I will answer. It's like you've got your own personalized marketing consultant until this session is over. So definitely ask questions if you are so inclined. And in addition to the merchandising, I was going to talk about 3 new features that we've just released that I'm kind of fired up about that I think are pretty powerful. And on Facebook, I can screen share. On Instagram, you're sort of, that's a little bit harder to do there. I wish Instagram had a way that you could actually just, add in the screen share and actually see it. But let me get this pulled up because I think it's pretty cool. And, this is as much for our customers as for you. You're contemplating signing up and you're like, hey, what do these guys do? Because even our customers never end up seeing this stuff. So the big 3 advancements that we've come out with that have all come out in the last month are, and I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see. And Instagram, you're watching, don't worry, I'm going to do my best to kind of talk about, articulate what it is we have in this, in a feature standpoint that I think is really cool. So the first one I want to show you is the live art show pages. Okay. And you've heard me talk on and on and on, and don't worry, I'm not going to stop anytime soon. Yes, get some sleep, Carolyn in Scotland. Thanks for the comment. The live art show is the future of selling art and photography, full stop. It just is. Okay. If you've never run one before, what you're going to find out is like, okay, how am I going to take payment on these things? And for your first couple, it's not the end of the world to say, I take Venmo, I take PayPal. You can send me a check, right? I'll take crypto, if you're one of the NFT people. So you can do all those things. But after you run a few of these, you realize that you really need a page that makes it extremely easy to do. You want something that is up and running in the shortest amount of time as possible. And so, I'm showing you one of these demo pages, and you'll notice I designed this, and I'm really proud of it. Is the version 1. There's no header. There's nowhere to click around. There is literally a shopping cart button and a share button. Okay. The reason I did that is because I don't want anyone doing anything but coming and seeing your live art show and buying. Okay. And so you can see, and I might as well make it cool for you guys on Instagram too. I'm going to try this. Let's flip this around. All right. So I'm showing the live art show page, Instagram. Now you get to see it. And you get to see my fancy camera setup. So what is really cool about this, about the way that this whole thing is set up, is in her case, Ashira's case, the show is already run. Okay. And as a result of the show already running, not everyone saw it live. And so here's the YouTube video from her actual show. But this page, you guys, is so fast. I think she had 50 pieces in this one. Did she have 50? Yeah, I think she had like 50 pieces. Okay. The speed with which you can build this page is staggering. Okay. You upload all of the images at once. Boom, you drop the entire folder and it will automatically make a grid of all of them. You can rearrange them, and all you have to do is give them a title, a number, and a price. If you don't want to do anything else, you don't have to do anything else. If you want to size each one and say what the media type is, she's got a bunch of mixed media on hers, but I think she has some like paper prints on hers too, which is pretty cool. No, all of hers look like mixed media. So you can do whatever the media type is, and then you can put some comments. You can build this thing, you guys, in literally an hour to do a 50 piece show. And that's not like, web pages suck. It's like never that easy to build something, right? And it's beautifully aligned. It's beautiful on mobile. And then my favorite part is when you're running a live art show, you want people to buy as quick as possible. You don't want them to have to go through a 27-point checkout process and deal with any of that type of nonsense. And so you could see when I hit the buy now, there's this instantaneous checkout where they can just put credit card, billing address, pay now. And there's also Google Pay integrated in here and Apple Pay integrated in here, which is awesome. And so I can just do the GPay thing, click that. It's already got my payment information in. I'm signed up, and I could be transacted and out with the piece that I bought in the live art show literally in 2 seconds, which is really, really cool. And not only that, the minute that somebody purchases, it's listed as sold. And so what happens is the show is going on, you're covering one piece. And ideally, if it's going well, the people that come in and they're buying piece like 20 in the show instead of piece 1, they're starting to see a bunch of sold buttons. And it's like, the FOMO hits you, right? Because the way that we set up a lot of these live art shows is the inventory is finite. It's not unlimited pieces. And it's like when they're gone, they're gone. So, no different than when you would be in a gallery show. and somebody is like goes and puts the red dot upon a piece because it's been purchased. It's like that same kind of thing that creates the FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. Okay. The fear of missing out. So Jerry's asking me, what's the hottest photography medium out there at the moment? Acrylic, metal. Yeah, I would say acrylic and metal are sort of like the hot ones on the block. But the larger point is that it's sort of a little different for everyone and a little different for every market, Jerry. So you know, you need to have all the media types, like that whole stack that I had. You want to have all the media types. You want to be able to show everything, educate your customer, and then let them pick, right? You know, I get this is like a, you know, another rant is like, there are so many artists, okay, that tell me that they don't want to be hobbyists anymore. They really want to level up their business. And I say, fantastic. And then I go and I look at their store and they have one media type. Okay. And it's usually the people that print them themselves, or, you know, they have one media type. They're only offering a certain thing in Canvas. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? You are essentially saying if you want a media type that is not Canvas, you can go and shop somewhere else. Don't ever think you're smarter than your customers. You're not smarter than your customers. Your customers know what they want. It's your job to provide it, right? And I really feel strongly about that. So I get fired up about that, to be honest with you, when people are not offering all the media types, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It doesn't cost you anything to add the additional ones. And, you know, you have the ability to create very, very happy customers as a result of it. So, sorry, I'm still getting over this cold. So I think that's very, very important. Feature number 2, which is sort of interesting. We haven't turned it on completely, or not enough of our customers have turned it on yet, but we installed what are called order bumps. Okay. And what happens with an order bump is I come to your website, I buy something, I put the credit card down, I check out. Okay. The transaction is taken. Instead of redirecting them to thank you for your order, you instead redirect them to an additional offer. And so you can see your order has been successfully processed. You've unlocked a special offer. Save 50% on clear day hand-sided wood frame. You know, this is something that's been going on a lot of time for a while in various other e-commerce suites and software, but I haven't really seen a lot of it in the art segment. And the whole point of it is to increase the AOV, the average order value. So, you know, let's say you sell $1,000 print, okay? And then I buy the $1,000 print and I put my credit card down and I complete the transaction, and then boom, I'm hit with an offer for a calendar for an extra $25, right? It doesn't matter what you do, but the whole point is to increase the average order value, increase the AOV. And I love taking it out of the art world always, but where did this come to prominence? Back in the day, McDonald's used to just sell burgers, okay? And you would go into McDonald's and you would order a burger. And then somebody, presumably Ray Kroc, figured out, you know, one of the interesting things is that you can do is ask people if they want fries with that, right? And let's say a burger costs $5. So, okay, a burger costs $5. Somebody went up to the counter, and that's what their average order value was, or maybe it was like $7.50 because a lot of people order 2 burgers. And somebody went up to the counter to go get a burger, and then he told all of his employees, ask them if they want fries with that. Okay, this was before the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, and the number 4, like they do at McDonald's now, right? So every customer started asking, do you want fries with that? All right. And guess what? A whole bunch of people were like, yeah, I want fries with that. And let's say the fries were $1 back then. So instead of getting $5 per order, average order value, McDonald's was getting $6 average order value, right? And it drastically over time and with volume increases the business. So we now have the ability to do this with one click. You can do anything you want, anything you want. You can add a smaller print. You can do a greeting card. You can do a calendar. You could do a hooded sweatshirt. You could offer to sign the print, right? Like whatever you want to do, but it gives you the opportunity for an order bump. And, you know, everything that I talk about in a digital context, I realize the easiest way to think it through and understand it is take it back to the retail context, okay? The retail context we all understand. Do you remember when you used to go to the big box store or the whatever store that it was, and there was always a line at that store and you just got to mind your own business in the line and then check out? What's happened since then, right? You walk in the store And while you're waiting in line, there's just aisles next to you of all kinds of tchotchke and knickknacks and beef jerky and sodas and batteries and stupid cords for our cell phone, right? Like, maybe this is at your local hardware store or your local electronics store, but you snake through the aisle while you're waiting. And what do they have? They have a bunch of these small little items that they're hoping that you add to the order. And you notice they're never expensive, are they? They're never expensive. They're always usually a small fraction of what you already have in your shopping cart, right? Like, maybe you're buying a toaster oven, right? And the toaster oven's like $150, and then everything in the aisle is $15 or less. Like, get a cell phone cable, get a solar powered flashlight or whatever it is. It's the same thing. What are they attempting to do? They're attempting to increase the average order value, the AOV. Okay, so I think that's a very important thing to conceptually wrap one's head around. And it's like, look, if you're selling, okay, let me put it this way. There is only 3 ways to grow an art or a photography business. Only 3, okay? Option number 1, the one that everybody works on all the time, constantly be trying to get new customers, okay? And I'm not saying that's not important. It is. Constantly be trying to get new customers, number 1. Number 2, get repeat business from existing customers. So get the customer that bought something before to come back. But guess what? There's a third way. Increase the AOV, increase the average order value of the purchases that are taking place. And there's multiple ways to do this. Of course, you can raise your prices and that's going to increase the AOV. But another great way is to get them to purchase a secondary item. And so that's what the order bumps are all about. They're very, very effective. The easiest time to get somebody to spend money is 2 seconds after they were just spent money or right when they're about to spend money. So it's an exciting feature. I think it's going to be huge for Q4. As a final, I'm going to show, we did one other cool feature, and this is like sort of the placate everybody that always talks about, like, how do I sell to interior designers? And I might as well, Instagram, I'm going to let you see this too, because I don't want it to be boring for you. By the way, you know how you get confident in streaming, you figure out nonsensical things like this, like, showing my whole computer setup. So I want to show you this. We have a brand new color search engine, okay, that we added to Art Storefronts. And so what it does is our system automatically analyzes all of your art. It pulls out a series of the colors, and then it throws all of it in a search engine for you. And so this is usually like the interior design requested feature, like, I'm looking for art. Oh, I like this artist. I like their stuff. I'm decorating a room in earth tones. And so I need to pull earth tones out, right? And so I'm able to browse her site by colors. And so, I want to see red instead. And so it's going to show me all the works that have this dark red in it, right? And so it's just yet another way that you can make it convenient for people to shop on your site. And, if you're someone that's like heavily into color too, or color's a big part of what you do, it gives you the ability to do that really, really easily, which is kind of cool. And, very, very helpful, very effective in like consultative selling, I would say. So those are some new features, the ones that I wanted to rant about and show you. For those that are just popping on or just getting started, technically I'm doing an AMA, although you guys don't have a lot of questions. Okay, good. I've got a couple questions that are coming in. But you can ask any question you like. That includes on Instagram about anything you're doing, anything that we at Art Storefronts do. And yeah, we can go from there. So, okay, we've got some questions. So Teresa Thomas, I'm not an artist painting. I only do photos. Would this platform work for me? Yeah, it works for you, Teresa. We have just as many photographers as we do artists. In fact, you could argue in some ways it's better for photographers, just because photographers only have prints to sell, right? And that's what we do. All right, so Connie Herbert's asking me, is it advisable to have a signature printed on your prints or not? What I like to do, Connie, and this is a good question. One of the most important things that we advocate that our customers do is integrate with one of our print partners. And when you integrate with one of our print partners, what happens is an order comes in, okay, you get paid, the printer gets paid, the printer prints the order, the printer boxes the order, the printer slaps your logo on the side of the box, and then the printer sends it to the customer. You don't touch anything. That's print on demand, right? There's no admin. There's no looking at proofs or driving down to the printer, driving to the freaking post office or FedEx or UPS or boxing or taping or any of that. And the reason that we advise that is because you need that time to work on your marketing to actually grow the business, okay? So how does that apply to signed pieces or not signed pieces. Okay. Signed pieces or not signed pieces. I advise you either don't sign them if they're prints, or put a digital signature on them, or if you want to do signed, charge people extra for them. And what you do is when you do signed, you get the print shipped to you, beautifully packaged, everything else. You gingerly open the box, unpeel the plastic, slide the print out, sign it, seal it back up in their packaging, and then ship it off. So you're going to get an additional shipping charge. And so the idea is to charge an additional amount of money that for the signed pieces, if they want it. And some people will care about that, Connie, and some people could care less. You'd be surprised. Some people don't even want a signature on it. They just want to see the beautiful art. And, as long as they get a certificate of authenticity or whatever, they know it's from you, they're all good. So that's what I would say on that. So Britton Dockery's asking me, why is 1,000 visitors a month a magical number? Where did you get 1,000 visitors a month as a magical number? I'm asking this dad is like scared to saying like, wait a minute, is that our documentation? I don't believe 1,000. I don't believe there is really a magical number. Ultimately, the only thing that matters is the sales, Britton. So you can set 1,000 as, a traffic goal to get to. And while that's notable, I don't believe that it's, I don't believe that there's any magic traffic number. It's really, it's about the business, that the traffic sort of becomes irrelevant. It's kind of like saying like, what's the magic number on Instagram? Well, I have people that have really tiny followings on Instagram that are selling. I mean, I had a gal that ran on the live art show, 2 of them in 15 days and sold $11,000. She's got 2,500 people on Instagram. So is there a magic number of Instagram followers? No, absolutely not. Okay. Mark, it's hard to be an artist, not making the art, but everything else. That's true. I sold a piece last week, but I had to drive 17 miles of 4-wheel drive travel road, travel 80 miles to have it metal framed, go to UPS and have it shipped. Time 5 hours, cost 130. How can we make this easier? Yeah, I did just give you that idea. It's called POD. You should be not doing that. Although, 17 miles of 4-wheel drive road sounds really exciting to me, but probably not all the time. Big fan of off-roading, big fan of motorcycles. Note to self, go make it a point to go see Mark on his dirt road there. That sounds awesome. So for everyone that's just joining, I'm doing an AMA. You can ask any question about just about anything, marketing, pricing, anything that we do at Art Storefronts. We're having a huge sale. It ends Friday. So if you are interested in signing up or joining, there's a link in the link tree in our bio, Instagram, Facebook on this post. There's links. YouTube, if you're watching it there's links in the YouTube post too. And you can fill out a form and our people will call you, tell you about our amazing deal and everything else. So that's what I would say. Yeah, but questions, comments to finish out the AMA? I feel like these things are so hit or miss. There's sometimes where I can't even keep up with the comments. And then there's sometimes where it's like, you guys are scared of me or something. I promise I won't, I will answer to the best of my ability. I want to see one more comment out of somebody on here. I'm going to wave it at everybody on Instagram. Mind you, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. You got to always constantly be testing things, and going live is such a fantastic way to, constantly be experimenting. And I'm leveraging the software to go live on 5 different platforms at once, and I get to see the various different, returns on attention that they give me, which is fascinating. Okay, that's a very broad question. Carabet Studio, any suggestions on how to sell art? Yeah, start marketing. You're not marketing consistently, are you? Almost no artists are. What are you doing in terms of marketing? Are you doing anything? Because that's really the differentiating factor. Carabet Studio is you have to actually market. There's a lot of functions and features that go into marketing, right? You have to be capturing emails, and you have to be emailing the emails, and you have to be running sales when it's appropriate, and you have to be posting on the socials regularly. You need to learn how to run a sale, how to tease a sale, how to announce a sale, how to contemplate discounting, how to give the sale scarcity. It ends on Friday, and all of those various different things. And that's just all part and parcel of making it in this business. And trust me, I'm well aware that no one wants to do it. No one ever wants to do it. The marketing is the hardest thing. So that's what I would say. Yeah, I'm glad you're saying that. Someone's asking me, where can we set up the live stream? Sounds fantastic. I'm going to have a huge announcement on that next week, actually. I'm going to put a massive contest in the water to try to get as many people to run them as possible. And part and parcel of that is going to be the ultimate guide to getting started in live streaming. So look for that next week. That's where I would get started. It'll kind of walk you through everything. Oh, I love it. I love this one. All right, I got 2 questions here. I'm going to read them out. My granddaughter, my wife, and myself are at different levels of art. Is it a good idea or bad idea to add them to the art choices? Yeah, I would add them, Tom. I would put all of that together, only because you're a family. I sort of really like the family business where the whole family teams up because you're family, you love each other no matter what. I sort of don't like the whole co-op idea where a bunch of artists get together, because what ends up happening is it's like a Mormon marriage with multiple wives. Like, sorry if that's a bad thing to say in today's day and age, but you get what I'm saying. It's like multiple partner relationship, right? And one person is doing the marketing and then the other one's not. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? I'm doing all the marketing. You're not doing anything. Those are much harder to make work. But the family grouping up together, I love that. I love that. All right, I got a good question from Noel. I like this one too. I keep getting comments on IG like, promote it here, tag some account. I'm sure it's a paid promotion. Should I trust it or is it dead end? The general rule of thumb on Instagram is if somebody approaches you with the price list and telling you they're going to give you X, Y, and Z, ignore them. Ignore them. It's never going to end up working. It's going to be a disaster. That's my general rule of thumb. The really, really good accounts, okay, the ones that don't have a bunch of BS followers and that actually have really good engagement and actually might potentially have buyers, for your art, I would say those are the ones that you want to approach. Okay. And if you do want to do that, Noel, you can do that. You can leverage these people that big accounts to promote your art on Instagram. It's actually a fantastic way to grow. But what you'll find when you actually do it, and I'm doing it right now, I'm literally doing it right now. I have promotions in the water this week for art storefronts, is there's going to be a lot of hits and a lot of misses, and probably even more misses than hits, meaning you have to be in a position where you're going to contact 10 of them. And after you contact 10 of them, you get 10 tests in the water, you pay for 10 of them to promote you, and you see which one gives you the best results. And then you're like, okay, now I've got a home run winner. I know I can go back to that one again and again and again, and you form a relationship, and that's how you approach it. And when you do that, it's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. There's just a ton of attention on Instagram, and that's just how it goes. That's how the ball game goes. So that's what I would say. The ones that approach you, not worth it. They're not going to get you anything. And there's so many people that buy BS followers on Instagram, and it's not fooling anybody that actually knows. Like, yeah, great, you have a bunch of BS followers on Instagram, but let's be honest, we know you're not selling anything. Okay. And in addition to the fact that we know you're not selling anything, there's no engagement on the post, so don't go buying followers just for the sake of it. Not worth it. Definitely not worth it. So that's what I would say on that one in terms of getting the IG promotions. But at the end of the day, like, we're all fishermen, right? Whether it's me trying to promote art storefronts or it's you guys trying to get your art, your photography in front of more eyeballs. If you're a fisherman and your job is to catch fish, where do you drive the boat to? Where do you go? Where the fish are. And that's why we have to be on Instagram. That's why we have to be on Facebook. And many of us don't like that, I know. But in today's day and age, you kind of need to be contrarian about it, right? It's like, if this was 14th century feudal England and you were a hay farmer, like, look, you have to load the hay up on the cart and go take it to the city center next to the church, because that's where the market is. That's where people will actually buy things. So that's what Facebook and Instagram is in today's day and age. It is the marketplace at the city center in town by the church. So you got to drive in there and you got to get it done. And that's just how it goes, what it is, across the board. So that's what I'd say. All right, I'm going to sign off. It's almost the end of the day. Until 2 hours from now, in which I'm going to help a customer run a live art show, because that's what we do. We get our customers to run live art shows because that is a teach a man to fish opportunity. All you have to do is get them over the line once, and then they'll be running them for years and years and years after. So good session today, guys. Thank you. Appreciate all you. Appreciate all you. Is that even English? Appreciate all of you. Anytime you see me doing one of these AMAs, you can ask any question, whether you're a customer or not. So keep that in your back pocket. If you've got a burning question, something's bothering you about Facebook or Instagram or emailing or, traffic to your site or pricing or niche selection or live art shows, I'm here. I want to answer. I enjoy these things and I love the questions. So thanks, guys. Bye.